Hunters, thank you for joining us. I'm Joy.
And I'm Laura.
And this is The Witches of Letters, a supernatural rewatch podcast.
Buckle up as we dive into Season 5, Episode 13. The song remains the same.
Do you know what I'm going to say? And this isn't part of my preamble. This is just an observation that I'm making right now, but it has become my preamble. You're welcome, listeners. You're welcome for this unhinged little ramble. But I always feel like when I'm saying the intro, I'm on like a 10 or a 20 and like unhinged, right? But then when I listen to the episode, it just sounds normal, like I'm happy, and I don't understand how that works.
I always try and sound happy, and then when I listen to the episode, I'm like, God, I sound boring. Like, and I'm Laura.
It's just because I'm on like the Disney trip from the Addams Family. Hi, Hunters. Or like, wait, do you remember that character from that museum with the Edison phone, which is like long distance phone call?
Oh, yeah.
And she's like really overly perky. It's like that. I feel like I'm too perky. I am at heart a goth kid, you guys. I'm still a goth in my heart and soul. And whenever I do the intro and it's so perky and I sound so happy, part of me in my inner Daria is just disgusted.
You still sound like Daria to me.
Thank you. That's why we're best friends. So yeah, you're welcome, listeners. You're welcome for this unhinged craziness right at the beginning of this episode. We bring the entertainment from the jump. So this is our 99th episode, Laura.
Woo!
That was so cute.
Yep, nearly 100.
You're like
I can't believe it.
A little excited owl. If you guys agree with me in the comments, please leave little owl emojis. That was adorable. Oh my god. I can't. So next episode drop is our 100th episode. It's going to be this all special episode. I can't wait to see Laura's reaction. We've gotten so many people have written in to the story replies. Whenever we have special things going on, make sure that you check out our Instagram stories, because I will always give you guys an opportunity to be part of it in the story replies. So we've had people write in through the story replies, and like there are so many nice messages congratulating us on our 100th episode. It's so cute. I cannot wait to read them to you. I think you're gonna be like, it's gonna be such a good vibe.
Yeah.
We have so many fun things coming up. And also, I've asked you guys to give us like set ideas. So I think there's going to be some fun stuff coming up in the episode that like probably Laura isn't expecting, because somebody's written in about it and only I know about it, which is going to be an adventure. It's going to be a really good time.
Mm-hmm. I only know the things that we said we were going to do for like our little segments. So we're going to play games, and then we're going to do some astrology.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And then obviously all our listener responses.
Yeah. But you get to be like on everything, slightly like kept in the dark, and then just react to stuff out of surprise, having no idea. But at least this time I'm not pranking you yet. Like so far no one's written in and been like, here's this thing that you can prank Laura with. So it's not like a prank episode. So
okay,
there's
good.
that.
That would ruin the vibe.
Sure, just be like, no, get out. This is not what we do on 100th episode. I'm pulling the podcast over.
We could do prank wars on a different episode.
Yeah. So, we are thinking about cutting a new trailer, guys, because our current trailer is from way long ago when we first started, before we had the good microphones, and it's great. It does its job, but we're thinking now that we've been going for a minute and we've sort of established the formula of the podcast with you guys, and you guys have become such a fun part of how we structure things, we thought it would be fun to kick it out to you guys. Please tell us, like, comment, DM us on Instagram, email us your favorite sections of our episodes, because you guys could help us cut this trailer together. Because who better to tell us what the best bits of our podcast are than you guys? you would know, right? Like, you would know. So, thank you in advance for all of your help and support. We would not be where we are without you at all. And you guys really, truly make the podcast, like, literally on a weekly basis. I'm talking to people on Instagram every single week, and you guys are helping me shape the podcast. We have the best listeners in the world. I feel like it's part of the SPN fandom thing because, like, you know how SPN fans wrote in and the show was influenced by that? And it's like we have listeners who write in every week and influence us about how this goes down. So it's the same thing in my mind, honestly. So please help us cut a trailer. Please send in either the timestamps or like little screen recordings or notes of, hey, I really loved in this episode this part, or here's a clip of this that I think should go in the trailer, or here's my idea for the trailer. If you think there's anything in particular that we should include aside from, you know, just like sections of cuts of episodes, like if you guys want us to talk about the games, if you guys want us to mention anything in particular that I haven't thought of, just write in.
Should we put in the trailer about us hating the pudding scene?
Oh my god. Yeah, write in about that too.
Our most controversial thing we've ever said.
Our most controversial thing, our hottest take. People have been so far. I mean, admittedly, it's only been up for like an hour, but so far, people have been really chill about it and like really understanding it. Like, Pianette was like, I did not hear that sound before, and now I cannot unhear the sound of Jensen's junk.
Yeah. No, that's no.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. That's why I don't like it.
Yes, the audio of the smack, smack, smack.
Ew.
Welcome to the horror of the smack, smack, smack.
So yeah, stuff like that. Should that go in the trailer?
Oh my god, can you even imagine? Also, we will be branching out from just Instagram. So currently we're only on Instagram because please remember, public service announcement, that our Facebook account that we did have previously got hacked. So that's not us anymore. It has nothing to do with us. We currently do not have a Facebook. Okay. So, where should we go? If you guys suggest Facebook, I swear to God. No, I'm kidding. But where should we go? Where would you like to see us? I know definitely a lot of people want us to do more on the Discord, which we can definitely do. Yeah. That's been a very popular choice, but I would love to hear from y'all. Like, what other platforms do you really want to see our content on? So that we can pick and choose the places that you would like to see us as we branch out. And then the only other unhinged thing that I have to say for this preamble is that I'm really glad that Matt Cohen didn't get to our email in time to be on this episode potentially. So basically what had happened was, you know, you're a podcast, you email people, you ask people to come on. We emailed Matt and we asked him to like pop on the episode, and we haven't heard back, and we're recording the episode now. So that's obviously not going to happen. But I was watching this episode and I was like, I fully forgot what an absolute thirst trap Matt Cohen is in this entire episode. I'm really glad that he never replied, because it would be so awkward, because like so many of my notes are just Matt Cohen is a thirst trap for this entire episode.
Yeah, I thought him when he's spoiler alert, when he's Michael at the end, he was really hot then.
I just found him super hot like the whole way through. Like, I just kind of felt like this entire episode was a thirst trap all episode. Like, I don't have any real specific thirst traps, because I felt like you have young John, thirst trap. You have Sam and Dean, thirst trap. Like, it's like the entire episode is one massive thirst trap, guys.
Yeah, it was a thirsty episode.
It was a very thirsty episode. I am parched. I am wandering the desert. I've been wandering this desert for like 80 days. It's like that level of hotness. It's crazy. So respectfully, I'm really happy that Matt Cohen isn't on this episode. Because can you even imagine? So like my actual preamble on the actual episode, aside from Matt Cohen just being like an entire thirst trap all episode and it being hard to write notes because everyone was so pretty, is that the angels really, really hate Sam. Like, they've always hated him. They really hate him in this episode, except for Cass. Cass was like, Sam is my friend.
Yeah, but so I have noticed later about Cass and how he hated Sam, but now he's like his best friend.
Up until this episode.
Yeah, and now he's like being really protective of him, and I'm like, oh.
Suddenly, him and Sam are friends.
Yeah.
Suddenly.
Because it's like the opposite, because Anna... So I have mixed feelings about Anna now. Obviously, she dies a horrible death, and I'm sad about it because I like Anna as a whole. But I did have mixed feelings about her throughout this episode because she tries to kill Sam, obviously, and then their entire family. And I do kind of understand her motivations because the apocalypse is like, bigger than them. But then she dies, and I felt really bad for her. And also, she's never going to get to redeem herself because she's now dead. Although never say never, I guess, because it is supernatural after all.
Yeah, she's dead.
No. I was going to say, if I've learned anything so far, it's that death isn't final in Supernatural.
Unless you're
proven
a woman.
On this episode where Sam dies again.
Yeah. If you're a woman, death is often more permanent. Patriarchy.
If you're called Winchester, it's not. But yeah,
if you're called Winchester, death is an option, and not a hard fact of life type of thing. So we got a Stephen King reference. We've got Cass deciding that actually Sam is his friend, which is adorable. And I'm like, just to circle back to this for 1 second. Can anyone think of the inciting incident for Cass to decide that Sam is his friend? Like, I feel like this
I think it's just because Dean likes Sam.
Literally, that's all I can think of is just like Cass loves Dean and Dean loves Sam. So Cass is like, he's my friend.
Yeah.
Because
maybe it's because they have tried to like, well, we're getting towards the end of the episode already, but like when they realize it's just the three of them against everyone else, Cass must have realized that at some point and be like, oh, okay, sounds not too bad.
Because this is like, here's the thing, it's for me, this is a very big turnaround because he literally just says, remember in that one episode where he goes, and Sam, of course, is an abomination.
Yeah. And he's always like really angry at Sam and like, and whose fault is that?
Cass this entire time has been like, you started the apocalypse. I hate your guts. You have demon blood in you. You are an abomination.
Yeah.
The whole way through. Okay? The whole way through. And now suddenly, Sam is my friend. And I'm trying to think of anything in that, because there's been a lot of episodes, you guys, but I'm trying to think of anything in any of the previous episodes before this moment in time that would make that make sense. And I honestly cannot. I feel like this is one of those things where the writers were like, yeah, this is fine. Don't think about this. We're not going to hang a lantern because we don't want you to look at this like at all. At all. Do not examine this in any way, shape, or form. Cass like Sam, now the end.
Maybe he just likes Sam more than he just hates the other angels so much that that Sam's the lesser of two evils.
Oh man, it's like a lot. It's a lot though, because he has looked at the odds of them saving the world doing things the Winchester way. And he's decided that it's very unlikely that they're going to live.
Mm-hmm.
But he's doing it. And this honestly always brings me back to he's doing it for Dean. Cass has always loved Dean, and he's doing it for Dean is the only thing that makes any sense to me.
Yeah, that makes sense to me too.
Because like if you don't think that Cass and Dean are a romantic vibe, I mean you're wrong. But that's fine. You're entitled to.
Yeah, but even if they're not, they're still like really. They're still close, aren't they? Regardless
I'm just
of
salty about it because I've seen so many people post so much Destiel hate lately. And the thing is like I haven't been in the fandom enough to know what the Destiel fans were like, so I don't know if they poisoned the well a little bit. I don't want to think that, but I don't know. I know the fandom has some weird corners of the internet in certain places, so I don't know if Destiel fans left a really sour taste in people's mouth. I don't know if it's that or if people are just like, no, that's not the vibe. Because if it's purely just no, that's not the vibe, then that's fine and I have no issue with it. And if there were Destiel fans that were insane and offended people, then like then I could maybe understand where some of this stuff is coming from. But outside of that, I do not get it. Like, there's such rampant hate for people who are like, oh, maybe there's a vibe. And everybody goes, no, burn
There's
it.
definitely a vibe regardless. Like,
Yeah.
it's definitely like Cass, even if you don't think Dean likes Cass, there's definitely a vibe between Cass and Dean.
It's canon.
Yeah.
In the show.
Cass likes Dean.
That Cass likes Dean.
And then it's like whether you believe Dean
reciprocates those feelings in any way, shape, or form.
Cass definitely likes Dean, and I like to think that.
That's open to interpretation. Yeah.
Cass hearts Dean. Cass and Dean sitting in a tree.
KISSING. Yeah, and I've said this a bunch. It's the biggest irony that I have become Team Destiel, in that I think that there is a vibe. Because this whole time, the bisexual of the podcast, was like, Dean's not bisexual. That's so stupid. I was the most anti-Destiel person that you could imagine, and now I'm rewatching it, and I was like, let's just see if this is even a thing. And now that I'm rewatching it through that lens of like, is there any chance that Dean could be bisexual? I'm watching it and I'm like, actually, guys, I have to take it back. I think he could be bisexual. I think he's one of those bisexuals who come off as like the straightest of all straight men on the surface. But then when you watch his little interactions, you're like, wait a second. Wait just a second. That smells like Taste the Rainbow.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yep. Okay, so that was a massive tangent.
Talking about film references and stuff, I liked all the Back to the Future references, because there was like the phone book thing when Sam rips the page out of the phone book. Oh, when they first appear and they like nearly get hit by a car.
Yeah.
They mentioned like DeLorean at some point as well. And obviously it is a time travel.
It episode. Is a time travel.
They do go back to the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked all of those. I love Back to the Future.
Yeah. I like the Stephen King reference. And also I was on the verge of tears. I remember when I watched this episode the first 2 times, I did definitely cry like a baby, because Sam has never seen his mom before, ever.
Yeah.
And he's so emotional, and it just like makes me cry. And he's never seen John before as like the real undamaged John. Like he's never seen the core version of his dad, like his dad's heart, like who he really is without the trauma. This is his opportunity to see that. And he's like, oh my God. And you can see him have all these realizations. And again, this is another kind of like therapeutic episode, right? Because he gets to have that conversation with John.
And that was sweet.
It just felt
forgives him.
Yeah, it felt so real and so authentic and just really lovely. And I just feel like it was like one of the most beautiful moments that we've had in Supernatural up to this point. Also, I don't understand that reference. Like Cass saying that is a huge meme in the fandom, and it's really exciting that we're finally here, and we can incorporate that into our stash of like memes up to the moment.
Yeah, I've got some notes about that. Also there was Terminator references, because Dean talks about the Terminator, but then when Anna is on the phone to John when she's pretending to be his boss, I found this on IMDb. It says Anna disguises her voice to sound exactly like his boss. This is the method the T-800 Terminators from Terminator 1 and 2 used when phoning their adversaries.
Yep.
So that's cool. There's lots of references.
Yeah. It's really, really cool. I really loved it. It is like, this episode is basically a mashup between Terminator and Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And that's really fun. I really enjoyed that.
I did have a film question, like as in a filming question even. Did you notice, I can't tell if they actually filmed this episode on film or if they did it digitally but then made it look like it was old film in places, because I swear I saw, like, you know, the spots that go on like old films. You get like random spots that come up. I'm sure I saw some of those throughout it.
Yeah, if you film on celluloid, you'll get that. I I did not see that. I was also very much enthralled by the story in this episode, so
Yeah.
I don't know that I could say that it's not in there. I just may not have noticed it.
I am also not 100% sure. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw it a couple of times, but then when I watched it the second time, I didn't really notice it, but I wasn't looking to make sure that they were there. So yeah, so I'm not 100% sure, but I thought it seemed like there were some spots in places when they were in the past. But anyway, I thought that would be cool if they had done that.
Yeah, it would be cool. One of Sam's best lines, I feel like, is in this episode when he's like, I mean, the mustache is alone. Also, for like the Destiel fans like myself, when Dean says I put Cass in the honeymoon suite, I was like, yeah, I bet you did.
I just have one fun fact then before we start, which I thought was a fun fact. So I found this on IMDb. The episode in which Jensen Ackles first appears in Dawson's Creek is also called The Song Remains the Same. Which was season 6, episode 2. I thought that was fun.
That is really fun. I love that.
And then the obviously it's the Led Zeppelin song reference, which we always like when they do that.
Love a Led Zeppelin reference, love a Stephen King reference, and in this episode we have both.
We have lots of references.
We do. Do you want to give us the synopsis?
Yeah. So this is season 5, episode 13. The Song Remains the Same. The original air date for this episode was February 4th, 2010. Sam and Dean go back in time to 1978 when the angel Anna threatens to kill their parents, so Sam is never born and Lucifer never rises. They find their parents, Mary and John, and try to keep them safe, but they end up having to tell Mary who they really are and why they are there. They try to get her to leave John so that they are never born, as that's the only way to stop what is going on and the apocalypse. But Mary tells them it's too late as she's already pregnant. They then all have to fight Anna and a young Uriel, but Sam is killed and John is possessed by the Archangel Michael, who kills Anna, then speaks to Dean, telling him he is destined to be his vessel, before bringing Sam back to life and sending them back to their time.
Da, da, da.
So Sam dies again.
Again. The song
we should have a tally.
The same.
I don't know how many times Sam's died now. Is this 2? Dean's died like 100 times.
Dean's died like 1,000,000 times.
I think this is the second time Sam's died.
Yeah. 3?
Like officially.
No. Yeah, no, 2. I was almost going to count when because there's that one part in Mystery Spot where they're fighting over the axe and he kills Dean, but I kind of wonder if he also got injured, so I always sort of think that they like took each other out in the axe fight.
Maybe.
But that's not canon, so that's just my own personal I think that's what happened.
So we open inside Dean's dream, and obviously he's dreaming about nearly naked sexy ladies or strippers.
Yeah, it's
and one is dressed as a devil and one is an angel. And then Anna appears. And at first I thought Dean was fantasizing about her too, because they did want to sleep together, remember? And I also said I ship them.
Yeah.
Which I still kind of do.
But no, she's trying to murder Sam.
This is what I mean. I have mixed feelings about Anna. I loved her, and now she tried to kill Sam, so I don't like her anymore.
Yeah.
But then she died, and then I was sad again. So anyway. Yeah. But yeah, so no, she's actually there in his brain to communicate with him like Cass did that time, because they have that spell on them, don't they, where angels can't see them, can't find them. And she tells him about what Cass did to her, like handed her in, and that she says that she's been in heaven prison. And she says that she broke out and asks him to meet her and gives him a location, and then he wakes up.
Yeah. It's the way he says, "This is awkward."
She's like, "This is what you dream about?"
Yeah. It's like, "This is awkward." And she's like, why is this happening? It's so funny.
So then we are at an empty warehouse now, and we see Anna walking around. She hears a noise and calls out, "Hello, who's there?" Then all of the light bulbs start like smashing and sparking, which we know is a Cass thing, or at least 100%. An angel thing anyway. And Cass then appears, and Anna's like, "Oh, so the Winchesters don't trust me." And Cass says that they do, but he doesn't. And he says he wouldn't let them come because Cass is smart and he's worked out that she must have been let out to do some dirty work, some heaven dirty work. Cass says he knows she has a knife, and then she says that Sam Winchester has to die. Then we get the titles.
Yep.
And my initial note says, why is everyone always trying to kill Sam? I thought Anna liked him, and I thought Cass hated him, but now he's protecting him.
We said not all angels, but Cass is the not all angels. It's only Cass.
Not all angels. Yeah. We should definitely have that on a t-shirt if we ever do t-shirts. Not all angels.
Not all angels, and Sam would never.
So then after the titles, we get Anna explaining why she needs to kill Sam.
Yeah. And Cass is pointing out that he's not the only vessel, and she points out that all the other vessels are shit, and Sam is definitely the one, you know? Laura was like, what do you mean?
I'm sure, though, if Sam didn't exist, there would still be someone else would be the vessel.
Yeah. I
suppose Lucifer might not have actually... He might not have ever been released, though, so...
Yeah.
I suppose there's that, because that was Sam's fault.
Yeah. I think it's a mixture between the chain of events that leads to the apocalypse, which is what releases Lucifer, and that's all Winchester-based. And so if you remove... Why did you giggle at that? I said Winchester-based, and she laughed.
Yeah, but that's funny, because it's like, it's all the Winchesters. It's the Winchesters' fault.
I mean, I love them, and I don't really blame them. But yeah, if you remove the Winchesters from the equation, the apocalypse doesn't start, does it?
Yeah.
Blame the demons is who I blame, because they're the engineers of all this bullshit.
Yeah.
The Winchesters are sweet baby angels who've never done anything wrong. Sam would never. Okay. But I see where Anna's logic lies, because like if you theoretically, if you got rid of Sam and Dean, the apocalypse does not happen. And I also think that Lucifer, we know from like this season and last season, Lucifer put all of his effort into creating Sam, basically, for Sam to be the absolute perfect vessel. And Lucifer in all the mythology is like the most powerful angel, right? He's like almost like a god. He's so powerful. So it makes sense that the person who could contain him in this universe would have to be very, very, very special. Almost like an antichrist type of figure, right? So
and ripped.
Sam in this season looks like
he's strong enough to contain a devil.
He can contain anything. The moose is loose. So Anna says Sam is the only vessel that matters. You know what that means. If Lucifer can't take Sam, his whole plan short circuits. No fight with Michael, no Croatoan virus. And she says the horsemen go back to their day jobs. And Cass says even if you could kill Sam, Satan would just bring him back to life. And Anna says, not after I scatter his cells across the universe. And she says they'll never find him, not all of him. And Cass says, we'll find another way. And Anna's like, yeah, how's that going? And she mentions that obviously the cult isn't working, the search for God isn't working, nothing is working, and that if they want to stop the devil, this is how they do it. And it's very much like that Star Trek, like Spock thing, where it's like the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one. And Spock is willing to sacrifice himself. Except in this case, Anna isn't sacrificing herself. She's going to sacrifice Sam. She's like, sorry, Sam. Sucks to be you. And then Cass says the answer is still no, because Sam is my friend.
Aww,
and Anna says, you've changed. Maybe that's the lantern. Because fuck yes, he's changed. 30 seconds ago, Sam is an abomination. No, he's like, Sam is my friend.
He's his friend. Aww.
It's so cute. And Cass says, maybe too late, but I have. And he says that they've been through a lot together. And then he says, but if you come near Sam Winchester, I'll kill you. And I was like, you've been spending a lot of time with Dean. You've become Dean.
Sammy.
Sammy. Sam.
Yeah. See, so maybe that is the lantern then. Maybe it's because they've been through a lot together.
Trauma bonding.
Yeah. So then we cut to a street where a car is parked and two kids are inside smoking. And then they kiss. and it looks like it's in a classic car. And I know, because I looked it up, it's a Pontiac Firebird. And then Anna appears with blood in her mouth and falls on the bonnet of the car, and the kids get out to help her, and we can tell from their clothing now that this must be a different time. And there's a huge Grease billboard on the wall, and I looked up when Grease came out, and it was in 1978.
Yes it was.
Oh, and I found this fun fact that says when Anna goes back in time, she falls on the hood of a Pontiac Firebird in the middle of the wings, foreshadowing her death, because angels' wings are burned into the surface they die on.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that was cool. That's credit to whoever wrote that on IMDb.
Yeah, that's really good. I was just going to say that I looked up what happened in this year, and there was so much that happened that kind of coincides with Supernatural. So you know how we're always getting like the Superman references and stuff like that, and this was the year that Superman came out, according to my Google search. And also a lot of true crime. Okay, a lot of true crime. If you want to read through the 70s whole list, there's a Wikipedia link in my show notes, but like a shit ton of true crime. Also a freak storm that is very supernatural based, and a lot of things going on in Cleveland and Ohio. Also feeling very supernatural-esque. It was like full of historic things. I'm pretty sure this is also the same year that Star Wars won an award. I think they possibly won an Oscar this year as well. So it was just really, it felt like it was chock full of things that went well with the episode and the show in general.
Cool. Yeah. So then we cut to a motel, and Cass is telling Dean and Sam about Anna. And Dean says, so she's gone all Glenn Close, and Cass is like, who's that? And Dean says, a psycho bitch who likes to boil rabbits. And then my initial notes said, Dean, Cass doesn't understand pop culture references. You know this. Which is going to come back in a minute.
I actually love the transcript, because the transcript says, so she's gone all Glenn Close, huh? That's awesome. And Cass is like, huh? And he goes, who's Glenn Close? And Dean says, no one, just this psycho bitch who likes to boil rabbits. And Sam says, so the plan to kill me would actually stop Satan. And Dean says, no, Sam, come on. And then Sam looks at Dean and then back to Castiel. And this is where you can like tell that everything has changed, because OG Cass would have been like, yes, you're an abomination. OG Cass would have been like, we should probably kill Sam. I feel it low key. Like, I don't think it would have taken as much to get him to be like, yes, this is a good plan that Anna has. But this is a Cass that spent a lot of time around Dean. So now, as soon as Dean is like, no, Sam, come on, Cass is like, no, she's a Glenn Close. And that's his actual answer. So Cass now is like, I'll kill you if you come near Sam Winchester. And when Sam starts to look sad, instead of telling him he's an abomination, he takes up Dean's line. He's like, no, she's crazy, and we're going to protect you.
Aww.
I put a little heart in my show notes.
So then Dean asks why they're going after Anna if she wants to kill Sam, and says, isn't that poking the bear? And Cass explains she won't stop trying, so they have to kill her first. And all of this time he's performing a ritual to summon Anna. I think it's a location ritual.
It's a locator spell. He's being Willow.
Yeah, he's being Willow. He starts speaking an incantation, and a red flame bursts from the bowl, and Cass steps back and leans on the chair looking pained. And he says he found her, and Dean asks where she is, and Cass says, when, not where, and says she's in 1978. And I made a note, because you know how I always forget to talk about the motel? That this wallpaper is already quite 70s, like the colours, and they're not even there yet.
Yeah.
And Sam's like, wait, what? Why? I wasn't even born yet. And I just wrote, I thought he was highly educated. And Cass explains that she's going after their parents instead, as she can't get to Sam directly, as Cass is protecting him. And Dean demands to be sent there immediately, and Cass says he should go alone, and Dean insists, and that was a thirst trap.
Everything Dean does is a thirst trap, honestly.
It's the protective when he's just like, right, send me there. I need to go there right now to stop her from killing Sam.
Yep. It is a thirst trap.
And Cass says that time travel is difficult. And I wrote, oh, good, time travel. I'm sure I won't get confused at all during this episode.
You know who wrote this episode? Our good friend Sarah Gamble.
Ah.
Yeah. It's an amazing episode.
She did a good job because I was less confused by the time travel in this episode than previous ones.
Thanks, Sarah, for making time travel make sense for once.
Because it usually messes with my head.
Yep.
So Cass says that time travel is difficult even with the powers of heaven at his disposal, and Sam points out that he's now cut off from that. And then Dean says, so what, you're like a DeLorean without enough plutonium? And then my initial notes I put, see, Dean, he doesn't understand that reference, I told you. Because he says, I don't understand that reference. Yeah, Cass says, I don't understand that reference, but I'm telling you, taking this ship with passengers, no less. And he says it'll weaken him. And Dean insists, saying that they're mum and dad, and if we can save them, not just from Anna, I mean, if we can set things right, we have to try. Because he still wants to make his mum not go into the nursery, doesn't he, at all?
Yeah, of course. It's Dean. Dean loves his mother and wants to save her so badly. He's like, yeah, Cass, I'm sorry you're going to have a bad day, but let's just do it. He's like, just stop whining. Let's go.
And then Cass packs a bag for them, and it has the jar of holy oil and his angel killing knife. I had a question about the holy oil. I think it's later in my notes, but like when he first brought that back, when they were trapping Raphael, he was like, he had to go somewhere really far away and get this oil. But now they seem to have an infinite. They seem to have an infinite amount of it now.
I guess
did he go back and get some more?
Yeah, I assume. I assume so.
So then they go. Cass is about to send them back with his angel thing, and Dean warns Sam and says, "Bend your knees."
Yeah, that's so funny.
And now they're not going to be able to poop for a week.
Why are you always Dean said? Constipation? Why are we that kind of podcast? You're always like, he hasn't had his Weetabix. It's constipation.
I'm just saying what I see. This show is more constipation based than we first thought. Dean always says he said he couldn't poop for a week when he first got sent somewhere by an angel. So now they're sent back to 1978.
Sam and Dean are in the middle of the street. It's daytime, and there's loads of cars about to hit them. And there's a driver screaming, "Get out of the street!" So they head for the sidewalk, almost get run over again, and finally find safety between two parked cars. Sam asks, "Did we make it?" And Dean's kind of looking around and says, "Unless they're bringing Pintos back into production, I'd say yes." And then he sees Castiel, who's like collapsed against a car, and he has a nosebleed. And Sam's like, "Cass?" And they're really worried. And Dean's like, "Hey." And Sam's like, "Hey." And Dean says, take it easy. Are you all right?" And they're both trying to kind of like pick him up because he's collapsing into himself. And Cass is like, "I'm fine. I'm much better than I expected." And Cass and Dean try to help him out, but then he just starts spitting blood and passes out. And Sam's like, "Cass?" And then he's like, "Oh, he's breathing, sort of. What do we do?" So then we see the outside of the Prairie Court Motel, and Sam's ripped a page from a phone book and a payphone. And Dean comes out of the motel, and there's a dude with a really, really big mustache. And Sam goes, "I mean, the mustaches alone." And that's me too, because why are they? Why is that a trend ever? Stop it. So Dean says, "So I paid for Cass for 5 nights up in the honeymoon suite." And I was like, "I bet you did." And he says, "I told the manager, do not disturb no matter what." And you know what he said to me? "Yeah, don't sweat it. Want to buy some dope?" And Sam snort laughs. And Dean's like, "Dope. We ought to stick around here, buy some stock in Microsoft." And Sam says, "Yeah, we might have to if Cass doesn't recover. Is he all right?" And Dean's like, "What do I look like, Dr. Angel Medicine Woman?" Wake up. Because, tough for a little nerdy dude with wings.
Aww.
Yeah, that line's really funny. Really adorable. And Sam says that if he landed that badly, then hopefully so did Anna. And what Sam was doing in the phone book, children who were not alive before the internet was a thing, is before the internet, people used to publicly list their addresses in phone books. And that was how you would find out where somebody lived and also how to call them. And so now he knows where they live and he's going to go and look them up.
Yeah.
So he says they're at 485 Robin Tree. And Dean says, let's go pop in on the folks. And I found out that in Hesiod, lines 485 to 491, it's the birth of the Olympian gods, right? And I was thinking birth of the Olympian gods, the Superman movie coming out, their origin story, they're going back to the beginning. I just thought that was kind of fun.
That's cool. That's a cool link.
Yeah. So they're outside their parents' house. It's nighttime. There's a car pulling up across the street from the Impala. Sam and Dean get out and cross to the house where the Impala is. And Dean says, Sam, wait. And Sam stops. And Dean catches up. And Sam says, Dean, Anna could be here any second. And Dean's like, what exactly are we going to do? March up there and tell him? And Sam's like, the truth? And Dean says, what? That their sons are back from the future to save them from an angel gone Terminator? Come on. Those movies haven't even come out yet. And Sam says, well, then tell her demons are after him. I mean, she thinks you're a hunter, right? And Dean's like, yeah, a hunter who disappeared right when her dad died. She's going to love me. And then he thinks, and then he says, just follow my lead. He's got a GED and a give him hell attitude.
Yeah.
So then he heads up to the house. And inside, we see Mary basically doing like washing up and putting stuff ready for dinner. And John gets a beer out of the fridge. And Mary asks how work was. And John says it was great. And then he goes to snatch one of the rolls off of the table. And she says, no, not until you wash your hands, basically. And like, he's a mechanic. So for anyone thinking that she's overreacting, no, she is not.
I thought they were cute.
They are adorable. At first I was like, is she being too strict? And then I thought about it. I was like, no, he's a mechanic. That's disgusting. Definitely needs to wash his hands first. So then he says, I love it when you're bossy. And goes to kiss her. And it's really cute. And then this is when the doorbell rings. And Dean says, hi, Mary. And Mary's like, you can't be here. And Dean says, I'm sorry if this is bad time. And Mary's like, you don't understand. I'm not. And then she looks at Sam, who is like on the verge of tears watching her this entire time, which like breaks my heart. Mary says, I don't do that anymore. I have a normal life now. You have to go. And I meant to look up this actress because I love her so much. I refer to her this entire episode in my notes as Buffy Winchester because she is like the Buffy of this universe.
Yeah, she's cool.
She's awesome. Like, don't get me wrong. I love both actresses who play Mary. And obviously, like, Samantha Smith is incredible. But she's also awesome. And we only get her for a few episodes. And I really wanted to be like, this is, and talk about her. But I forgot. So that's my bad. But I just want to say.
Do you want me to look it up quickly?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, okay.
Google. So, Amy Gumanek, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, somebody tell me, as young Mary is incredible, and I love her very, very, very much. She is Buffy Winchester. She's amazing. I would watch her in her own TV series where it's just like young Mary Winchester. Like, I would watch the shit out of that. It would be like the Winchesters plus Buffy. And I feel like we need that in this day and age.
Yeah, I would definitely watch that.
Yeah, I would have watched that. Why didn't they give her own spinoff? I don't know. It's a mistake, though. So anyway, she goes on to say that she has a normal life. And then Dean says that it's really, really important. And then John appears in the background. And Mary's like, sorry, sweetie, they're just, and Dean goes, Mary's cousins. And Mary smiles kind of awkwardly, like, I wish you would just fuck off and die. Like, go away. I don't want any part of this. And Dean's like, yeah, we couldn't stop through town without swinging by and saying, hey, now could we? And Dean holds out a hand for John to shake and says, Dean. And John says, you look familiar. And this is really interesting because obviously, like, he has no memory of seen him before, but they have met before.
Yeah.
Clearly, because he's like, you need to
Made
buy
him
this
buy the
Impala.
car. Yeah.
So Dean says, really? Yeah, you too, actually. We must have met sometime. Small towns, right? Gotta love him. And John says, I'm John. And holds out his hand to Sam. And Sam just kind of looks at him.
Crying.
He is like crying. And
so
Dean says, this is Sam. And John says, Sam, Mary's father was a Sam. And Sam smiles and nods. And again, this whole time, Sam is basically bawling like a baby. Like, not quite bawling, but like the tears are in his eyes, as Laura said. And it's beautiful and amazing and touching. And everyone's crying. We're all crying. You're crying. I'm crying. Everyone's crying. Okay.
Well, he does make it accidentally a bit weird.
It's not his fault. He's never ever seen his parents. Yeah, not really.
He doesn't let go of John's hand after he's shaken it.
It's so cute. Cute. John says, "You okay, pal? You look a little spooked." And again, this is very much like what happened because he thought Dean was drunk as fuck when he first met him. He thought he was like a vet back from Vietnam. And because Dean was like, what year is it? Like, he was like, where the fuck am I? And John was like, he's like, what state am I in? So this is the same kind of conversation where he's like, are you okay? You look spooked. So Sam finally lets go of John's hand and is like, yeah, just a long trip. Dean says, yeah, and Mary says, well, Sam and Dean were just on their way out. Like, she is really trying to get rid of them. She wants them all the way away from her doorstep. And John says, what? They just got here. Real happy to meet folks, Mary sighed. Please come on in for a beer. It was so cute. And Dean's like, twist my arm. And he is like pushing his way in. He's like, get back, Mary. I've got business here. And Mary gives him a look that like, this is where Sam inherited the bitch face from, is from Mary. Because Mary looks at Dean, and if looks could kill, Dean would be dead again. So then they're in the living room, and Sam like will not stop staring at Mary. Who is visibly uncomfortable about it. Yeah, and John's like, "Are you sure you're okay?" And Sam's like, well, I just, you're so beautiful," to Mary. And John kind of leans forward, like, "What the hell?"
Totally chill thing to say, Sam.
Yeah, and Dean says he means that in a non-weird, wholesome family kind of way. And Sam goes, "Yeah, right." And Dean says, we haven't seen Mary in quite some time. And see, she's a spitting image of our mom. I mean, it's and Sam says eerie. And John says, so how are you guys related? And Dean says, distantly. And I feel like because Sam was like, she's so beautiful. And Dean's like, let's make it real distant. Make it less weird. So John asks if they knew Mary's parents, and Dean says, yeah. Mary's dad was pretty much like a grandpa to us. And John says, oh, that was tragic, that heart attack. And he holds Mary's hand. And Dean says, yes, it was. And John says, so what are you guys doing in town anyway? And Dean says, business, And John's like, oh yeah, what line of work? And they simultaneously say, Sam says plumbing, and Dean says scrap metal. And Mary stands up like, oh my gosh, it's almost 7. I hate to be rude, but I gotta get dinner ready.
I just realized something though. That's what Bobby does, isn't it? Like the scrap metal thing. The Dean like basically said he was like, Bobby,
my dad.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Burn, John, burn. So John invites them to stay. Mary's like, I'm sure they have to leave. And then the phone rings. And John tells them to stay again, and then gets up to answer the phone. And him leaning against the wall, again, I'm glad Matt Cohen is not on this episode. Him leaning against the wall and talking on the phone is the hottest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay, that just like obliterated my brain as a thirst trap. Thirst cap. Like, there are no words. I can't even get words out of my mouth. Like, it's unreasonably hot. Okay. So he's talking to who he thinks is his boss, and he thinks he's getting fired. And John's saying, I really need this job. And then we see them pan along the phone cord, and that the speaker's on a payphone. And it turns out that it's Anna using Mr. Woodson's voice. Also, did anybody else think that it was harsh and out of character that she obliterated this innocent bystander? Because I feel like she didn't need to kill him. She could have just put him to sleep. But his eyeballs are burned out of his head.
Yeah.
Feels unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah. She's not thinking, she's just like, I need to kill them. She's being the Terminator. There we go.
Yes.
That reference came full circle.
Yeah. So, she says that if John comes to the shop right now, they'll talk it out and maybe work it out. And so he's like, okay. And she says that she'll see him in 10 minutes and don't keep me waiting. So he ghosts in the background and nobody knows it at first.
Yeah, although this is like, I don't know if it's a flag as such, but like, he literally, in a minute, they find a note that he leaves. He was like 6 feet away from them. Wouldn't he have just popped his head in and went, I'm just popping out? He just leaves a note and then disappears.
That's pretty normal for the 80s, to be honest with you.
It was literally like right next door. Because then Sam and Dean could have been like, wait, no, where are you going?
Well, because Anna says, be here in 10 minutes or you're fired. And he's like, I really, really need this job. So I think it does make sense that he leaves a note and just goes.
I just feel like it would have taken longer for him to write the note than to say, I'm just popping out. But anyway.
Well, my logic is I don't think that he wants Mary to know what he's doing. I don't think he wants her to worry about him losing a job. Because, like, she knows that she's pregnant. I don't know if he knows that she's pregnant. But she already knows. So he might know. In which case, he's looking at, like, getting fired and having no job and Mary being pregnant. So I think it does, like, motivationally make sense. I'm gonna say I can defend Sarah in this instance. Okay, so Mary is saying you have to leave now, and Dean's like, okay, just listen. And Mary says, no, you listen. Last time I saw you, a demon killed my parents. Now you waltz in here like your family. Whatever you want, no, leave me alone. And Sam says, you and John are in danger. And Mary's like, what are you talking about? And Dean says, something's coming for you. And Mary says, demon? And Dean says, not exactly. And Mary says, well, then what? And Dean says, it's kind of hard to explain, okay? It's, and then Sam just goes, it's an angel. And Mary laughs and is like, there's no such thing as angels. And Dean says, I wish, but they're twice as strong as demons and bigger dicks. What a line. And Mary says, why would an angel want to kill us? And Dean says, it's a long story and we'll tell you the whole thing, but right now you got to trust us and we got to go. Look at my face and tell me if I'm lying to you. There's like this long moment. And then Mary says, okay, where do we go? And Dean says, out of here. We got to move now, though. And she's like, what do I tell John? And Dean starts saying, just tell him. And then he looks around and he's like, wait, John? And then this is where we see the note that says back in 15J. And then we cut to the garage and it's dark and empty and suspicious. And John's like, Mr. Woodson, you still here? And he turns on a light and sees Mr. Woodson lying on the ground with his face down. He turns him over and his eyes have been burned out of his head. Dun, dun, dun.
You know how I feel about eyes.
Yeah, Laura was not okay. So John obviously backs away. Anna's right behind him, grabs him, and throws him across the room into this huge shelf that falls over. John gets up. And then we see her from her point of view, her vision gets all fucked up. And then this is where we realize she's still weak and messed up as well, like Cass. So John hits her with a crowbar. She sprawls across the floor, then is standing again. She flings John over a car. Anna turns around and Dean is there with an angel blade. Anna grabs Dean's wrist and neck. Dean tries to pry Anna's hand off of his neck. And he says, I wish I could say it's good to see you, Anna. And Anna's like, yeah, you too, Dean. And interestingly, because they have that chemistry, they have had the sexy times, they obviously like each other a lot. It's really clear from this interaction that she doesn't want to hurt Dean. And she hates that she's having to do what she's having to do, but she feels like she has no choice.
Yeah.
It's do this or watch the world burn from her point of view. So she's decided she has to do this. So she throws him out of a window. Mary picks up the dropped angel blade and twirls it at like an actual Buffy the Vampire Slayer badass. It's amazing.
Definitely.
And goes in, and this is where in my notes I call her Buffy Winchester. John looks up and sees Mary fighting like an absolute badass. Okay. Mary slashes at Anna, cuts at her hand. Anna ducks. Mary takes another swing and Anna vanishes. Mary looks around. Anna appears behind her and Mary strikes and Anna catches her. And then she says, "I'm sorry." And she throws her into a windshield. Mary crawls over the car away from Anna as Anna advances slowly. She slides off the car, stumbles to a bench, and grabs a crowbar, turns around, and drives it into Anna's chest. Like, I'm talking like deep. If she was anything else, she would be dead. Mary stares kind of in horror as she pulls the bloody crowbar out, like inch by inch, and then drops it and says, "Sorry, it's not that easy to kill an angel." And Sam's like, "No." And this time, he's drawn a sigil, and he like says, "But you can distract him," and smashes his hand down onto the sigil.
That was hot.
It is hot. Burns away. And we see Mary catching her breath and John staring at her like, "Who the hell have I married?" And it was awesome. Awesome. And I decided that the lore for this episode, the only lore that to me made sense, is sigil magic. So cool. I will be telling you about sigils. The term sigil derives from the Latin sigillum, or sigilla, meaning seal. In medieval magic, the term sigil was commonly used to refer to occult science, which represented various angels and demons, which the practitioner might summon. So it actually does kind of work the way that it's not exact the way that the show is using it, but it actually is very similar and arguably would work in terms of medieval mythologies, right? So there are a lot of grimoires from back in the day, which is like a manual, a witchy manual, if you will, that has they have historic pages and pages and pages of sigils. So one of the best known in this list would be the Lesser Key of Solomon, in which the sigils of the 72 princes of the hierarchy of hell are given for the magician's use. Such sigils are considered by some to be the equivalent of the true name of the spirit and just granted the magician a measure of control over those beings. So I'd be really interested to know if, because they start to tell us what the sigils actually mean or say, and then like get interrupted conveniently in the script. So I'm kind of curious if what they're doing is they're writing the name of the type of angel that they are, and then using the sigil to banish them. One common method of creating the sigils of certain spirits was to use kamias, a special use case of magic squares. The names of the spirits were converted to numbers, which were then located on the magic square. The locations were then connected by lines, forming an abstract figure. The word sigil has a long history in Western magic and was used in the making of talismans and as a signature or sign of different occult entities, kind of like what they're talking about using it as like a name for a spirit here. In chaos magic, sigils are commonly created in a well-ordered fashion by writing an intention and then condensing the letters of the statement down to form a monogram. The chaos magician then charges the sigil for use.
I didn't know that was part of chaos magic. I've done that kind of sigil before.
Yep. That specific way of doing it is definitely chaos magic. So then I found an article called Sigil Magic in Ancient Times, and it was written by Ratika Devender. And I thought I would read you this part of it because I thought it was interesting where she talks about its usage in ancient Mesopotamia, and says that sigil magic can be traced back to Mesopotamia, which prospered around the 3rd millennium BCE, and it was comprised of various cultures, including the Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians, and that in these communities, sigils were often carved onto amulets and talismans, which were assumed to hold protective power and magnetize good fortune. These inscriptions, which is like kind of how witches use them today.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So like nothing much has changed in how we're using this particular kind of magic. These inscriptions contained symbolic drawings or glyphs that represented specific deities, angels, or demons that individuals could summon in their daily lives. So I was like, this all really tracks with this episode. And then she goes on to list the ancient Egyptians and their usage of sigil magic in the Old Kingdom period. and that throughout that period, hieroglyphic symbols used were not simply some form of communication. They were also infused with magical symbolism and usually used as sigils in different rituals. These emblems bridged together their religious beliefs, magic, and symbolism. For instance, the Eye of Horus, also recognized as the Eye of Ra, was used in ancient Egypt as a sigil symbol to protect themselves against envy, disease, harmful animals, and evil spirits, and also to attract good health and to stay in power.
Yes, I didn't realize the whole like using sigils as summoning. I've literally only ever done the like you write out your sentence that you want and then you take out like some of the letters and make
Yeah,
a little sigil out of it. So that's really interesting and that really does track with the episode.
it really, really does. So I thought that was cool because I think that we forget, like I think a lot of modern witches forget or are not aware of the older uses being broader
Yeah.
and more complex. And maybe we should bring some of that back, honestly. Like
Mm.
maybe we're downplaying the power of sigils and it's been a little watered down through the ages. And maybe we should think about the origins of the magic, the roots of the magic, and take it back a little bit. Maybe we could be doing more powerful magic than we
Mm.
are.
I didn't realize that it was linked to that you'd like summon demons as well. That sounds scary. I don't want to do that.
Laura immediately, no joy. I'm like, because the thing is like I think with sigil magic, like you're writing down a specific thing that you specifically want. So it would be like, let's say you wanted to commune with the high priestess or something, you could write down a symbol specifically for her. So you wouldn't be randomly getting it. It wouldn't be like an open telephone line, you know? It would be specific with intent.
Unlike like Ouija boards and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You could do that. I'll just stick with the, the other kind. Oh, I love this next scene when they're in the car and they're like, awkward family road trip.
Yep. That's a good one.
Okay, so they're all in John's car and they've clearly filled John in on what hunters are and what they do and about monsters. And he asks Mary how long she's been doing it, and she says all her life. And Dean tries to defend her, saying she didn't have a choice. And John says, "Shut up, all of you. Look, not another word, or so help me, I'll turn this car around." And then there's just silence. And Dean's like, "Wow, awkward family road trip," to Sam, and Sam says, "No kidding." I thought it was cute because they're like, they're family.
Ohana means family.
So then they drive to a house that's been in Mary's family for years, well, all of their families for years, and she shows them that there's a devil's trap under a rug and tells them that the fixtures are all iron, there's salt, holy water, and weapons in the pantry. And Sam says that will just piss it off, meaning Anna. And Mary asks what will kill it or slow it down, and Sam says not much. And Dean says, but not nothing, and shows her what's in their bag. And Dean explains they can use the sigil that will banish her if she gets too close. Sam tells them about holy oil and how it's kind of like a devil's trap for angels. This is where I wrote, they seem to have an infinite amount of this now. Sam takes Mary off to show her how the holy oil works, and John looks really uncomfortable. And he asks Dean where he should put the sigil and how big he should draw it. And Dean says he should just go and help Sam because it has to be drawn in human blood. But John grabs a knife and cuts his hand and asks him again how to do it. And Dean tells him that all of a sudden, John reminds him of his dad. And I wrote, what, stubborn?
I really felt for John in this scene because people are treating him like he's a baby. And he's like, I went to war, damn it.
Yeah, I can cut my hand.
he's like a young badass John, you know? But everybody's trying to shelter him because at this point he's a precious baby angel who has never encountered demons or monsters and is sort of just like flipped out about it.
Yeah.
So I like really, really felt for him. I thought Matt did a really good job acting this scene because
definitely.
I think it could have gone in a direction that would have made us really annoyed with John as a character, and instead the way that he plays it, it's very sympathetic and it makes John like that's like a thirst trap at the end where he just uses a massive hunting knife to get what he needs so that he can put the sigil on the wall. He's like just cut his own hand And that's why Dean is like, you remind me of my dad. Because you can see it. You can see that like heroic inner nature is part of him.
Yeah. I liked how Dean's like teaching his dad how to do huntery things.
Yeah.
Obviously, his dad did that with him when he was younger. So later, John is finishing the sigil, and Sam comes to apologise for like all of this. He says he knows it's a lot. John asks how long he's known about the hunting stuff, and Sam says forever, as his dad raised him in it. And John, the father in question, is shooketh about his future actions. He's like, who the hell does that to a kid? Yeah, and then in a minute, Sam's gonna say that he came kind of close to dying, and I went, kind of close? You literally die, Sam.
Well, you can't say that though, can you? Sam says his dad raised him in hunting, and John's like, you're serious? Who the hell does that to a kid? And Sam says, well, I mean, for the record, Mary's parents did. And John's like, I don't care. You know what kind of irresponsible bastard lets a child anywhere near this? You could have been killed. And Sam's like, I came kind of close. And then he laughs, and his Laura mentions that's because Sam actually did die.
Because he died.
Sam did die. He got stabbed. And then he came back. And I wonder if he's laughing because he's thinking about Mystery Spot. And he's like, but Dean dead way more than me, so I win. John's like, the number it must have done on your head, your father was supposed to protect you. And Sam says he was trying. He died trying, believe me. And then he sits down and he says, I used to be mad at him. I used to hate the guy, but now I get it. He was just doing the best he could. And John's really listening to him. And this whole scene makes you cry, dude. Like, if you have a heart in your chest, it rips you up. It's really, really well written. Sarah's amazing. It's beautiful.
It is definitely good. And I like, because it's pure character development, because Sam like hated John for everything. And now he's realized that he's come to understand his actions. And also I thought when I was watching it the first time that I feel like Sam is kind of talking about himself too, because when he talks about John doing it because the love of his life died, he could be talking about himself and Jess in that moment as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just thought that was sweet.
Yeah, it's really interesting what she's done in this script because she's drawn all the parallels and it makes it way more emotionally hard hitting. So you see Dean kind of has the same conversation with his mom. Sam has the conversation with John, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like they're sort of mirrors of each other because I think Dean is his mother's son and really takes after his mother. And Sam really takes after John. And you can see it in John's responses to things as well. Like the ways that he responds when his back is to the wall is the same way that Sam responds. So it's like just really beautifully done. It's honestly such a work of art. And it's really beautiful to see Sam recognize that and realize that he's kind of a mirror of his father. And maybe the reason why he hated him and like struggled against him is because they're so alike. Yeah, that whole thing where like you can honestly, if people are too similar, you find yourself not being able to stand them, and it's because they reflect things to you about yourself that you do not like.
Yeah.
So I just thought like it was brilliant.
Yeah.
So Sam explains that his dad was trying to keep it together in an impossible situation, and that his mom was this amazing, beautiful love of his life, and she got killed. And I think he would have gone crazy if he didn't do something. Truth is, my dad died before I got to tell him that I understand why he did what he did, and I forgive him for what he did to us. I do. And I love him. And because he's saying I love him, he's saying I love him to John. He's actually getting to say it. And so this scene is, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like you very rarely get something that's satisfying on TV. It's so beautiful, honestly. So then outside, we see Anna waiting and we hear angel wings. And she's talking to Uriel. And this is a younger version of Uriel. And I was thinking to myself, angels don't age and their vessels don't age. So that's some bullshit. But this actor is really good. So, I'll allow it. And Uriel's saying you shouldn't have called. We're under strict orders not to come down here, much less take a vessel. And then he says, you're not the Anna of now. And she says, no, but 30 years from now, I'm still your superior. I need you to kill some humans. And Uriel, who is always down to slay, says, always happy to do some smiting, but what's going on? And Anna says, in the future, these people are going to kill you, Uriel. I'm giving you the chance to kill them first. And Uriel just says, thank you. It's like, I have no questions. I want to do the murders. Let's go do the murders. Why are we still here? Let's smite some bitches.
And then we cut back to the house, and Dean finds Mary, who's alone. And she reminds him that he said he would explain everything when they have a minute. And she says they have a minute. And she asks why an angel wants her dead. And he tells her the truth. I was wondering if he would, and he does.
Yeah. He says, I'm your son. Sorry. I don't know how else to say it. We're from the year 2010. I remember at the time, like, that sounded like such a big difference, didn't it? Now we're in 2026. Yeah. 2010 is so long ago. He says, an angel zapped us back here. Not the one that attacked you. Friendlier. And Mary says, you can't expect me to believe that. Dean says, our names are Dean and Sam Winchester. We're named after your parents. When I would get sick, you would make me tomato rice soup because that's what your mom made you. And instead of a lullaby, you would sing Hey Jude because that's your favorite Beatles song.
Aww.
And Mary's like crying. And
you can tell she's like believing him because she's like, yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah, it's very, very emotional. And I was just like, adding to the supernatural fandom, you know, if you want canonically correct comforting stuff, you've got Hey Jude and eating tomato rice soup. There you go. Next time you guys have a hard day, and then you could have like a Mary Winchester soothing you. It's really cute. Okay, so Mary's crying and shaking her head saying, I don't believe it. And Dean says, I'm sorry, but it's true. And Mary says, I raised my kids to be hunters. And Dean says, no, you didn't. And Mary's like, how could I do that to you? And Dean says, you didn't do it because you're dead. And she looks really surprised. And she says, what happened? And Dean says, the yellow-eyed demon, he killed you. And he looks away. And then he says, John became a hunter to get revenge. He raised us in this life. Listen to me. A demon comes into Sam's nursery exactly 6 months after he's born, November 2nd, 1983. Remember that date. And whatever you do, do not go in there. You wake up that morning, you take Sam and you run. And Sam comes in from behind and says, that's not good enough, Dean. And Dean and Mary look over at him. He's in the doorway. And Sam says, wherever she goes, the demon's going to find her. Find me. And Dean says, well, then what? Sam says she can leave Dad. That's what. You got to leave John. And Mary looks heartbroken. And she's like, what? And Sam says, when this is all over, walk away and never look back. And Dean says, because he's kind of realizing, he sort of starts agreeing with him as he's saying it. So we're never born. And then he looks at Mary and he says, he's right. And Mary says, I can't. You're saying that you're my children. And now you're saying, Dean says, you have no other choice. There's a big difference between dying and never being born. And trust me, we're okay with it. I promise you that. And Mary says, okay, well, I'm not.
Yeah.
And Sam says, listen, you think you can have that normal life that you want so bad, but you can't. I'm sorry. It's all going to go rotten. You're going to die and your children will be cursed. And Mary's like, there's got to be a way. Yeah, Sam's a ray of sunshine. And Sam says, no, this is the way. Leave John. And Mary's like, I can't. And Sam says, this is bigger than us. There are so many more lives at stake. And Mary says, you don't understand. I can't. It's too late. I'm pregnant. And Dean and Sam are kind of absorbing it. And John comes in and says, hey, we got a problem. Those blood things, the sigils, they're gone. And Sam's like, gone as in. And John says, I drew one on the back of the door. I turned around, and when I looked back, it was a smudge. So Dean goes to look, and he says he's right. And Mary bends down to check the oil circle that she just poured, and she says there's no more holy oil. And then this horrible tinnitus ringing comes over the screen.
Incoming angels.
Fucking angels. Sam pulls the angel blade out and ready to stab some feathered bitches, or I guess dicks with wings. And everyone covers their ears, and then the windows and the light bulbs all shatter, and everything's dark.
And then Uriel bursts in, and Dean asks who he is. And when he says Uriel, Dean's like, oh, come on, and backs away.
Yeah.
So not this guy again. They all back away, but Anna is the other side of them. And Dean looks at Sam and says, here goes nothing. So he attacks.
That was a really good line.
Yeah. So Dean attacks Uriel and Sam goes for Anna, and they are both thrown across the room. John then sees a knife on the ground and goes for it, but Anna stops him and throws him through the window, like to outside. Like she throws him right through a window. Now, I do have a minor flag here because the whole point of her going back was to kill them. She could have easily snapped his neck here because she like holds his head before she throws him through the window. Anyway, Sam goes for the knife, but Anna rips a fixture from the wall and stabs him, and Sam begins to bleed. So he's got like this whole pipe sticking out of him now.
Yeah.
And Dean is being pinned down by Uriel, and he's like, "Sorry." And then outside we see a bright light glowing above John. And then we come back, and Sam is slumping to the floor, and he's dead. And I wrote, "Sam's dead again." Oh,
Sam's dead again.
And Anna moves over to Mary, and Dean watches helplessly as Uriel is still pinning him down. Anna apologizes to Mary, and then we hear John behind her say, "Anna," and Anna addresses him as Michael, and I was like, "Ooh, Michael."
Yep. And then he burns her to nothing.
It was so brutal how she dies.
Yeah. But I mean, if you will try to murder Sam.
Yeah. Although, why does Michael care? Because he wants to kill Lucifer / Sam.
Because he believes that it's all destiny. It has to play out in an exact way. Okay. That's why.
He wants to be the one who saves the world instead of Anna.
I mean, sure, if you want to look at it that way. Sure.
But yeah, so I wrote, I'm sad that Anna died because I actually liked her, not including today's episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it because, like, on the one hand, I can see how it's a very cool storyline.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate it for that. And on the other side of it, I really liked Anna as the character that she was before, and it feels kind of like a disservice to use her and discard her the way that they do in this episode. It makes for a really sick storyline, but I feel like it shouldn't have been Anna. I feel like it should have been a different angel. Like, in my heart of hearts, I'm like, this just ruined Anna. And I think what it is because Anna's a really powerful angel and Cass is a really powerful angel. And I think if you have those two together, it makes it too easy for them to stop the apocalypse. Yeah. That's what I think happened. I think they were like, we have to get rid of Anna.
Yeah, that's like what I said at the start, like why I have mixed feelings about it as well, because I liked her. Yeah. Also, her death scene kind of reminded me of that Indiana Jones. Is it Raiders where they have the melted faces?
You have chosen poorly.
Yeah, that was really cool for its time, obviously. And yeah.
So Uriel, being the little bitch boy that he is, says, "Michael, I didn't know." Michael's like, "Goodbye, Uriel," and snaps his fingers, and he just vanishes.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And Mary says, "What did you do to John?" And Michael says, "John is fine." And Mary says, "What are you?" And Michael says, "Shh." And he's really loving when he interacts with Mary. In his defense, he's very gentle with Mary. So he just puts her to sleep. And then he turns to Dean. And Michael says, "Well, I'd say this conversation is long overdue, wouldn't you?" And Dean points to Sam and says, "Fix him." And Michael says, "First we talk, then I fix your darling little Sammy." That was funny. And Dean says, "How'd you get at my dad anyway?" Phrasing. And Michael says, I told him I could save his wife, and he said yes. And Dean says, "I guess they oversold me being your one and only vessel." And Michael says, "You're my true vessel, but not my only one." And Dean says, "What is that supposed to mean?" And Michael says, "It's a bloodline." And Dean's like, "A bloodline?" And Michael says, "Stretching back to Cain and Abel, it's in your blood, your father's blood, your family's blood." And Dean says, "Awesome. 6 degrees of heaven bacon. What do you want with me?" So, like, I had to look this up. So there's the 6 degrees of separation, which is the original concept, which is like the small world theory that everybody's connected to everybody else by about 6 degrees of separation. So between you and someone, any other person, there's 6 degrees of separation. And in college, my teacher made us play this game, and it was freaky. Like, it worked every single time. So with the Kevin Bacon one, there were these 2 students who decided that, like, Kevin Bacon had 6 degrees of separation from him and everybody else in Hollywood.
Yeah,
And because this was, like, around when Footloose came out, he was really connected. So that's what the Heaven Bacon thing is. It's the 6 degrees. And they came out with a board game, and it has, like, a whole thing behind it. I think the website is still up and running as well. So, like, the whole 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing is, like, an actual thing.
I've heard of the Kevin Bacon one before as well. That's funny.
Yeah. So Dean says that, and then he says, "What do you want with me?" And Michael says, "You really don't know the answer to that?" And Dean says, "Well, you know I ain't going to say yes, so why are you here? What do you want with me?" And Michael says, "I just want you to understand what you and I have to do." And Dean says, "Oh, I get it. You got beef with your brother. Well, get some therapy, pal. Don't take it out on my planet." And he's like screaming the planet part. It was really
That's
good.
some good advice, Dean.
Very good advice.
He should take that advice.
He should take that advice. Dean should take that advice and get more therapy.
Yeah,
from Dr.
Dean
Zena.
Needs therapy. From Dr. Zena, yeah.
Dr. Zena. Michael says, "You're wrong. Lucifer defied our father and he betrayed me, but still, I don't want this any more than you would want to kill Sam. You know, my brother, I practically raised him. I took care of him in the way most people could never understand it, and I still love him. But I am going to kill him because it's right, and I have to." And he's like, "Oh, because God said so?" And Michael says, "Yes, from the beginning, he knew this was how it was going to end." And Dean says, "And you're just going to do whatever God says?" And Michael says, "Yes, because I am a good son." And Dean says, "Okay, well, trust me, pal. Take it from someone who knows that is a dead end street." Michael says, "You think you know better than my father? One unimportant little man. What makes you think you get to choose?" And Dean says, "Because I gotta believe that I can choose what I do with my unimportant little life." And Michael says, "You're wrong. You know how I know?" And he turns away and then he says, "Think of a million random acts of chance that let John and Mary be born, to meet, to fall in love, to have the 2 of you. Think of the million random choices that you make, and yet how each and every one of them brings you closer to your destiny. Do you know why that is? Because it's not random. It's not chance. It's a plan that is playing itself out perfectly. Free will's an illusion, Dean. That's why you're going to say yes. Oh, buck up. It could be worse. You know, unlike my brothers, I won't leave you a drooling mess when I'm done wearing you." And Dean says, "Well, what about my dad?" And Michael says, "Better than new. In fact, I'm going to do your mom and dad a favor." And Dean says, "What?" And Michael says, "Scrub their minds. They won't remember me or you." And Dean says, "You can't do that." Because he thinks that he saved Mary by telling her this info. And Michael says, "I'm just giving your mother what she wants. She can go back to her husband, her family." And Dean says, "She's going to walk right into that nursery." And Michael says, "Obviously." And he turns away and he says, "And you always knew that was going to play out one way or another. You can't fight City Hall." Was that a reference to Back to the Future? You can't fight City Hall.
Oh, today.
I think it is. So anyway.
Yeah, so this is why I wrote in my notes that Matt Cohen is amazing as Michael. Like he's chilling and he's scary, but in a cool, calm, and collected way.
Yeah.
And he's also kind of a thirst trap.
He's a thirst trap this whole episode. The whole episode. Young John is my favorite version of John. Yeah. Like he makes John so likable and charming and like relatable. And then when he plays Michael, he is really good at the switch being flipped. He's a fully different character. It's like when Sam is playing Meg playing Sam.
Yeah. He's really good, and I like it when they do that because it shows range, like I've said before, and like showing that he's a good actor. But also, I don't know what it means if I I fancy Michael more than like young John. I like him more when he's Michael.
You're just drawn to the power and the menace.
Maybe
it's the same reason why I like the Darkling, but I like the Darkling the most when he goes super evil. Not when he's fusing like parts of Deer to the main character, but before that, when he's all threatening in shadows, right before he goes fully, I was just like, oh my god, Ben Barnes, thank you. That was amazing.
It's also like when I fancied the Yellow Eye Demon.
Yep. He's like charming evil. You know? That tracks to me. That tracks. Everybody listening is just horrified right
now. So then we're back in 2010 or 2010 at the motel, and Cass appears, but he doesn't look good. And Sam and Dean rush to him, and Cass is surprised that he survived, and then he passes out again.
This is some of my favorite lines ever. Sam's like, "We got you," and Dean says, "You son of a bitch, you made it." And Cass says, "I did. I'm very surprised." And then down.
They jack him to the bed, and Dean says that he needs a drink. And Dean says that this is it. It's the three of them, Team Free Will. And I know I've heard this before, so I think it's a thing.
Team Free Will is huge. Okay. Absolutely huge. It's a huge moment in the fandom.
See, I knew it's a thing.
It is a thing. Congratulations. You're one of us now.
But it's funny because Dean says, Team Free Will, one ex-blood junkie, one dropout with $6 to his name, and Mr. Comatose over there.
It's awesome.
That's good.
Yeah, and Sam's like, it's not funny.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. And Dean's like, I'm not laughing. And Sam's like, ugh. And then he's like, they all say we'll say yes. And Dean's like, I know, it's getting annoying. And Sam says, what if they're right? And Dean takes a really big drink and then he goes, they're not. And Sam says, I mean, why would we, either of us? But I've been weak before. And Dean says, Sam. And Sam says, Michael got Dad to say yes. And Dean's like, that was different. And it was about to kill Mom. And Sam says, and if you could save Mom, what would you say?
Yeah. See, I mean, I don't know if this is a good prediction or not, or if it's obvious, but I mean, I think they're gonna end up saying yes because everything is leading up to it, and they keep bringing it up like every single episode. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen at least one of them.
Laura, the song remains the same. So we cut to later in 1978, and it's Dean's nursery, and Mary is super pregnant now. And they're looking over the crib at something that we can't see yet. And John says, where'd you even get it? And Mary says, garage sale, 25 cents. And John says, well, I'm glad to hear that anyway. He's like, I don't like this. And Mary's like, hey. And John says, I mean, you really don't think it's just a little cheesy? And Mary's like, I think it's sweet. And we turn and we see this, in my opinion, scary, creepy, smiling angel figurine.
I wrote that it was the ugliest angel statue I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah. Mary says, I can't even put my finger on why I like it. I just like it. And John says, well, then I love it. And he kisses her and leaves because he's adorable.
Yeah.
And Mary says, oh, quite a kick there. Troublemaker already. It's okay, baby. It's all okay. Angels are watching over you, which we know is something that she said to Dean.
Yeah.
And this whole last scene is like, I have thoughts. What are your thoughts? Because I feel like you have thoughts.
I don't really have thoughts. I don't have
she
thoughts.
Looks up into the emptiness.
I don't have thoughts. No thoughts.
Okay. My thoughts are this final scene was such a mixed bag for me. And what I mean by that is, like, on the one hand, it's good horror because we know that it's something like a comforting, loving mother sort of thing to say. We know that Mary said it to Dean all the time, angels are watching over you, but it's menacing now because it's taken on this whole new meaning. It's because of the whole war between the angels and the demons that all of this shit has happened to them and their family. And we also kind of know that they're doomed. And this is Dean, and Dean's kicking inside her like, this is terrible, stop it. That's just like the vibe, right? It's so from a horror note, there's that side of it, right? And then from the other side of it, it's very sweet and she's so loving. And it's like this really beautiful moment, right? And then you think of Cass, and Cass actually is watching over Dean.
Yeah.
So that's really cute. And then there's another layer to it where you look at it and you're like, this is so sad because she's going to die.
Yeah, definitely.
So those are my thoughts.
I had a thought which is silly. Which is, wouldn't it be funny if the statue that she found was the little one of Cass?
Yeah, that would have been so much better.
That was funny. Yeah, this creepy like angel is such a weird. It's not even like a cute angel.
It's an ugly ass angel.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes me think of the internet song. Damn, that's an ugly baby. That's what it reminds me of. It's the ugly angel.
It is.
Something's gone wrong there. It's like they took a clown doll and painted it to make it look like an angel.
Maybe that's why I don't like it.
It was like a fusion of like a clown doll, a Precious Moments doll, and like just a random other one. It's uncanny valley weirdness.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Should we go straight into games?
Yes.
Because we talked so much at the beginning.
Because we don't know how long this episode really is, and we've said a lot of unchanged stuff. And you're going to have to edit this, Laura.
So, villain hot or not? I mean, there's quite a few villains.
Yeah, like who are we saying is the villain?
I wrote down Anna, Uriel, and Michael, and I wrote, no, yes.
It was like Duck, Duck, Goose. I wrote villain hot or not, and I was like, Michael John is hot.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was all I had there.
I didn't write an episode scare rating. It's kind of like, it's scary, but for all the reasons you kind of said at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose it's kind of scary throughout as well. I'm going to give it an 8.
I gave it a 7.5, and I wrote, stop killing the main characters asking for a friend.
Stop killing Sam.
Sam would never permanently die.
What are your favourite quotes?
I don't understand that reference.
Yeah,
also,
that's good.
Anna, we've been through so much together, but you come near Sam Winchester and I'll kill you. And then Dean being like, so she's gone all Glenn Close, huh? That's awesome. And Castiel being like, who's Glenn Close? And that whole like bit. Then when Cass says time travel was difficult, even with the powers of heaven at my disposal, and Sam's like, which got cut off, and Dean says, so what, you're like a DeLorean without enough plutonium? And then again Castiel's like, I don't understand that reference. And then, you son of a bitch, you made it. And Cass is like, I did, I'm very surprised. And then just down collapses. And also Dean saying, free will, 1 ex-blood junkie, 1 dropout with $6 to his name, and Mr. Comatose over there. It's awesome.
Very good.
Yeah, and then I really liked it when Mary says angels are watching over you.
I had when Sam calls Mary beautiful, and Dean's like, he means in a non-weird, wholesome family kind of way.
Family way. Yeah.
And then I liked the whole bit in the car where John's like, shut up, all of you. Look, not enough of words, so help me or I'll turn this car around. And then Dean's like, wow, awkward family road trip.
Yeah, that was really funny.
What were your thirst traps?
I wrote best thirst traps. Young John, Sam, Dean, all episode. And then sparkle, sparkle, sparkle emojis. Basically everything. Everything was a thirst trap. It was all a thirst trap. What about you?
Okay, so my thirst traps are Dean looking sad at the end when Michael's told him that he's going to wipe Mary's memory and like ruin Dean's plans. Mm-hmm. Just Michael in general. And then
I'm just picturing you with like a notebook, like in school, just writing Michael with hearts around it. Just like that's the vibe.
Yeah. And then when Sam sends Anna away with the sigil saying, but you can distract them. That was hot.
Yeah, no, that was legitimately one of the thirst traps. I just felt like everything was a thirst trap.
Yeah.
Ultimate thirst trap.
Who's your MVP? Because I didn't write one down. So we need
I wrote
workshop
Dean. Because I said so, basically.
Dean, because I said so.
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of want to give an honorary mention to Mary, just because she's
amazing.
Cool.
She kicks butt. Also, Cass.
Oh yeah.
Also Sam, because Sam comes through with the blood sigil at the exact right moment.
He does also die.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah, we could give it to Dean. Dean tried to make everything better, and then it all got erased.
He tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter. If you think that's funny, it means that you have good taste in music. Well done.
And then the motel, we only really saw I saw a bit at the beginning and a bit at the end. It kind of looked 70s already. It was right. I'm just going to say 3.
Yeah, I wrote 4. I'm not sure about the wallpaper.
Was it because it was 70s looking? It was like
it was
brown.
Because it was weird polka dots of different colors. And I was like, I don't know what to do with that. I think it's supposed to symbolize, because like everything was circles. And I felt like it was supposed to symbolize, like that was clearly the theme. The destiny was circling them. Was how I thought about it. Like the family circle, all these different things, the way that they're being drawn into this specific place. They're all drawn together and all these things keep happening, and it sort of feels like a closed loop. Like we're being, through the time travel episodes, we're being asked to question whether or not they can change anything, which is how the writers are raising the stakes, which is a very intelligent way of doing it, honestly. And so I thought that the decor was bringing that up in a very clever way. So set deck and props, my hat is always off to them. It looked nice, but I liked it when it was in the dark. In the beginning, it looks nicer to me, like, because everything looked like a darker theme. It looked like it was more like, I don't know, muted colors. And then later on, when you see it more in the light, I went, oh, no. Don't like it as much as I thought. So, yeah, Matt Cohen was absolutely amazing. Please write in the comments and tell us what you thought of his performance. Young Mary, same thing. Let us know what you guys thought of this episode. Do you love it? Like, I actually loved it so much, I just sort of stopped to watch it. Like, I couldn't dissect it the way that I usually do. Whenever I see this episode, I just sit and watch it and enjoy it. Which I guess is the biggest compliment that I can really give. It's one of my favorite episodes. I would totally watch it and rewatch it, because while there's dark and scary-ish parts in it, like, don't get me wrong, like, it is scary, especially the first time you see it. But when you've seen it a few times, it just feels really nice. Like when Sam gets to talk to John and have this heart-to-heart, when Dean gets to spend some time with Mary, like there's these cool family moments and funny family moments. Like Laura pointed out about the whole car scene where John's like, I'll pull this car over. It's so good. And Cass is hilarious all episode long. Cass being like, I don't understand that reference. And he's like, wait, I am alive, aren't I? It's just, it's great. So be sure to write in and let us know what you think of it, what you think of this stuff. And thank you for coming along for this absolutely unhinged ride that we went on. And we will catch you in the next one, which will be our 100th episode. So do not miss that.
We're going to have fun, so join us.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe. We would be very grateful. And if you know someone who would enjoy it, please share.
You can find us on Instagram at The Witches of Letters Podcast, or you can email us at thewitchesofletters@gmail.com.
Until next time, stay safe out there, have each other's backs, and always keep fighting.